Your legs might feel a little weaker lately. Maybe they're slower going up the stairs, or just more tired at the end of the day. But what if I told you the real issue isn't your age? It's your fruit bowl. Yep, right there in your kitchen. Something that looks totally innocent might be quietly draining the strength from your thighs, messing with your balance, and making every step just a little less steady. According to the NIH, 1 in 3 adults over 65 is already dealing with sarcopenia, a condition where your muscle mass slowly melts away, like snow under the sun. And new studies from 2025 have uncovered something shocking. Certain fruits, yes, fruits might be speeding up that muscle loss without you even realizing it. Now, I'm not saying you need to swear off fruit forever, not at all. But some of the most common fruits, the ones we've trusted for decades, are quietly flooding your system with sugar, triggering inflammation, damaging collagen, and leaving your legs feeling like jelly. In this video, we're breaking down 7 fruits that may look sweet and harmless, but could be sabotaging your leg strength with every bite. And make sure you stick around until the end, because fruit number 3 has been linked to a 3x higher rate of muscle fatigue and calcium loss in older adults. And chances are, it's already in your kitchen. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. What fruit are you eating the most these days? Drop it in the comments below, and I'll reply and let you know if it's helping or quietly hurting your legs. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us here at Health 365, where we share practical, science-backed advice to help you stay strong, independent, and energized no matter your age. All right, let's get into it. Starting with fruit number 1. It's juicy, refreshing, and a favorite on hot summer days, watermelon. Now, watermelon might seem like a harmless treat. It's 90% water after all. But here's the issue. It has a glycemic index of 80 higher than white bread. That means, the moment you eat it, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. And that crash? It starves your muscles of the steady fuel they need to stay strong and balanced. Plus, because it's mostly water, watermelon is missing key nutrients your muscles actually need, like magnesium, calcium, and protein. It's also high in fructose, a sugar that has to pass through your liver before your body can use it. For older adults, especially those with fatty liver, which is incredibly common after 60, this process is sluggish. That means more inflammation, more insulin resistance, and less energy reaching your leg muscles when you need it most. In fact, a 2019 study in the journal Nutrients followed over 1,000 older adults and found that high fructose fruit intake, especially from low-nutrient fruits like watermelon, was directly linked to slower walking speed and weaker lower body strength. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy watermelon again, but think of it as a treat, not an everyday snack. And if you're going to have some, never eat it alone. Pair it with a handful of almonds or a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt. That combo helps slow sugar absorption and keeps your energy more stable. Now, let's move on to the next one. It's not something you bite, it's something you sip. Fruit juice. Even the kind that says 100% natural or no sugar added can be a hidden threat to your strength, especially after 60. Why? Because once fruit is juiced, it loses all its natural fiber, the part that helps slow down sugar absorption. Without that buffer, juice sends sugar straight into your bloodstream like a rocket. Blood sugar spikes, insulin overreacts, and your muscles? They get left behind underfueled and inflamed. A 2021 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism tracked adults over 65 and found that those who drank fruit juice regularly had 34% higher fasting blood sugar, 22% higher insulin resistance, and worst of all, a 21% faster rate of leg muscle atrophy. Even homemade juice or cold-pressed options can wear down the very muscles that keep you moving. And because juice doesn't fill you up, it's easy to consume the sugar from 4 or 5 oranges in one glass without even realizing it. So what should you do? Simple. Skip the juice, even the healthy ones. Instead, eat whole fruit with the peel when possible. And always pair fruit with a source of healthy fat or protein like walnuts or plain Greek yogurt. If you want something light and refreshing in the morning, try infused water with lemon, cucumber, or mint. You'll stay hydrated without spiking your blood sugar or draining your strength. Ready for the next fruit? Let's head to the pantry for one that seems soft and safe, but might be quietly damaging your joints. All right, fruit number 3 is a pantry staple. It's soft, sweet, and often labeled light or in natural juice. We're talking about canned fruit in syrup. Now I know it's convenient, easy to chew, and feels like a gentle snack, but for adults over 60, it's actually one of the fastest ways to weaken your legs and joints. Why? Because most canned fruits are stripped of their skin, cooked at high heat, and then soaked in syrup usually made from high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar. That syrup turns once nutritious fruit into a sugar sponge. And because the fiber is gone, that sugar rushes into your bloodstream at full speed. Result? Blood sugar spikes. Inflammation goes up, energy crashes, and the sugar that should be helping your muscles gets stored as fat. Worse still, that syrupy sugar doesn't just make you tired. It actively destroys collagen, the protein that keeps your joints flexible and strong. A 2020 study published in Nutrients found that seniors who ate canned fruit more than twice a week had a 38% higher risk of mobility issues. The researchers traced it to sugar-induced inflammation, which damages the mitochondria, the power centers inside your muscle cells. That leads to slower repair, less energy, and legs that feel stiff, tired, or shaky. And it's not just what's added, it's what's missing. The high heat of canning destroys vital nutrients like vitamin C, potassium, and folate, all crucial for muscle function and coordination. So what should you do? Easy. Ditch the syrup-soaked stuff. If you love canned fruit, look for labels that say packed in water or no added sugar. Even better, choose fresh or frozen fruit with no sweeteners. And always read the label. Light syrup still means sugar. Now let's move to fruit number 4, one that's tiny, chewy, and often added to healthy breakfasts like oatmeal and trail mix. Raisins. They may seem harmless, even nutritious, but for adults over 60, they can be a triple threat to your legs, joints, and stability. Raisins are just grapes with the water removed. That means all the sugar is concentrated and the water and fiber that slows absorption? Gone. Just a small handful can have over 25 grams of sugar, and your body absorbs it fast. This rapid spike in glucose is especially tough on older adults. A 2020 study in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who had high post-meal blood sugar spikes had significantly weaker legs and slower walking speed. But the trouble doesn't stop there. Raisins are high in AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These are compounds that form when sugar binds to protein in your body, especially collagen. The result? Stiff joints, tight tendons, and inflamed muscles. Even worse, many store-bought raisins are coated with vegetable oil or sulfites preservatives that can irritate the gut and trigger inflammation. If you've got sensitive digestion, autoimmune conditions, or achy joints, raisins might be quietly making things worse. So what can you reach for instead? If you're craving something sweet and chewy, try thin slices of fresh apple with almond butter, a few frozen berries, or chopped prunes in small amounts. They offer fiber, antioxidants, and a slower sugar release. Now we're heading to the tropics for fruit number 5, one that's golden, juicy, and praised for being high in vitamin C, but may be secretly flooding your liver with sugar. Pineapple. On the surface, pineapple seems like the perfect health food. It's vibrant, hydrating, and full of antioxidants, right? But for adults over 60, especially those concerned with mobility, this fruit can become a serious problem. Why? Because pineapple is extremely high in fructose, and fructose is processed by the liver, not your muscles. That means your body has to do extra work just to convert it into usable energy. If you have fatty liver, a condition that affects over 60% of seniors with prediabetes or diabetes, that process becomes sluggish. Instead of energy, that sugar often gets stored as fat, leading to more inflammation and less fuel for your muscles. A key study in diabetes care found that seniors with diets high in fructose-heavy fruits like pineapple were 2.5 times more likely to develop lower body frailty, meaning weaker legs, slower recovery, and more dependence on walkers or handrails. It gets worse. Pineapple's glycemic index is around 60, high enough to cause blood sugar spikes, especially in canned or juiced forms. These sugar surges damage the tiny nerves and vessels that feed your legs and feet. That can lead to tingling, numbness, and muscle fatigue. Now, yes, pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that may have anti-inflammatory effects, but that benefit is often outweighed by the sugar overload, especially in ripe or canned pineapple. So what's the alternative? If you like tropical flavors, try papaya. It's lower in sugar, easier on your liver, and still high in antioxidants. If you do choose pineapple, keep portions small. Eat it fresh, not canned, and always pair it with a fat or protein source to blunt the sugar impact. Alright, fruit number 6 is a fan favorite. Soft, fragrant, and loaded with vitamins, or so it seems. But once it gets too ripe, it becomes a sugary trap, especially for older adults. We're talking about mango. Now, mango has a great reputation. It's often called the king of fruits, and for good reason. It's full of flavor, has vitamins like A and C, and feels like a treat. But here's the catch. When mango gets too ripe, it becomes syrupy sweet. And that sweetness isn't harmless. Just 1 cup of overripe mango contains more than 45 grams of sugar. That's more than a can of soda. Most of that sugar is fructose, and as we just learned with pineapple, fructose doesn't go straight to your muscles. It has to be processed by the liver first. And for seniors, especially those with slower metabolism or prediabetes, this can overload the system. Here's what happens. Insulin spikes. Inflammation rises. And a process called glycation begins, where sugar molecules attach to proteins like collagen, damaging them. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology tracked older adults who consumed high fructose fruits like overripe mango. They saw a 32% decline in leg muscle density and a drop in walking speed in just a few weeks. Even worse, overripe mango can increase the production of AGEs, advanced glycation end products, which stiffen your joints, inflame connective tissue, and raise your risk of falls. So what do? You don't have to give up mango, just be mindful. Skip the super soft, syrupy ones. Eat only just ripe mango in small portions. And pair it with a muscle-friendly buffer like a spoon of Greek yogurt, a sprinkle of flaxseed, or a few walnuts. Now for the 7th and final fruit, and it might be the most surprising of all. It's everywhere. It's affordable, portable, and seen as the perfect snack. Bananas. Yup, good old bananas. They're praised for being easy to digest and full of potassium. But if you're over 65 and dealing with fatigue, poor balance, or muscle weakness, ripe bananas might be doing more harm than good. Why? Because once bananas ripen and develop brown spots, the starches turn into fast-acting sugars, mostly glucose and fructose. A single ripe banana contains about 14 grams of sugar and very little fiber, especially once overripe. That means your blood sugar can spike quickly after eating one. And as we age, our insulin response weakens. The body takes longer to process sugar, so after that spike comes a crash, and your muscles are left underfueled and fatigued. But that's not all. Bananas have a high glycemic load, which means they can significantly impact blood sugar even in moderate amounts. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that older adults with high glycemic load diets had lower quadriceps strength, worse balance control, and reduced muscle endurance. There's also the potassium myth. Yes, bananas contain potassium, but for seniors with even mild kidney decline, which is very common after 60, too much potassium can actually cause muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat, or slower movement. Plus, bananas are missing essential amino acids and magnesium, both of which your muscles need for strength and smooth movement. So what should you do? You don't have to ditch bananas completely, just make some smart swaps. Choose green or just ripe bananas. They contain more resistant starch and digest slower. And never eat them alone. Add a small smear of peanut butter, a handful of almonds, or chia seeds to slow the sugar release and support muscle repair. Okay, now that we've gone through all 7 fruits that could be draining your leg strength, it's time to wrap it all up with a few key takeaways. So, here's the truth. The fruits we've trusted for decades, the ones that seem healthy, light, and refreshing, might be quietly working against us after 60. And it's not because fruit is bad. It's because our bodies change. After 60, the way we process sugar, absorb nutrients, and maintain muscle is very different from when we were 30 or 40. What once gave us energy might now leave us drained. What used to feel like a safe snack might now be tipping the balance literally. But here's the good news. You're in control. A few simple swaps. A little more awareness. That's all it takes to protect your strength, your balance, and your independence. You don't have to give up fruit. You just have to get smart about how and when you eat it. Every step you take, every time you stand up with ease, that's a small victory. And those victories add up. Your legs carry your life. Let's treat them with the respect they deserve. So, if this video helped open your eyes, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which fruit surprised you the most? Or which one you're planning to cut back on starting today? And hey, if you want more science-backed, practical tips to stay strong, healthy, and confident through your 60s and beyond, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Vital 365. Because aging doesn't mean fading. It means learning how to shine smarter every single day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of your legs. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next one.